Our life and our world has changed, perhaps forever, perhaps for the better. This pandemic has made us more vulnerable, certainly. It has destroyed the glass houses that we built for ourselves. But it's also made us realize that we're all the same. We're human beings who feel fear, who have been generous, who start to appreciate the little things in life, like chatting, talking for talking's sake. So now that we have a little bit more time in our hands, we thought, how about if we knock on the door of those football people that we admire? What is it that we can take from their experiences? These are elite athletes who've gone through 100 obstacles to go to the top. What is it that we can apply into the battle that we've got in our hands? There's another reason why we decided to do this series in which we're going to get into the more personal side of those footballers. And it is that we partnered with Common Goal COVID-19 Response Fund to battle coronavirus. So plenty of reasons to get into their living rooms, into their way of thinking, into their experiences and life. So fancy coming with me. Impossible to condense a whole life in 1 minute, especially Freddie Kanouté's, but let me try. Frédéric Omar Kanouté is a Malian French striker that played in France for Lyon, West Ham and Tottenham Hotspurs in the Premier League, and then he moved to Spain, to Sevilla, in which he was possibly his most successful era. He won the UEFA Cup in 2006 and 2007, and he was also declared the African Player of the Year in 2007. He still is the highest goal scorer amongst all the foreign players that play for Sevilla. So after that, he has actually, or still is working on developing new talent through his consultancy firm 12 Management. Freddie, can we come in?
Yes, please, come in.
All right. This is all very comfortable. Thank you very much. How are you doing? How's the confinement for you so far? And where are you?
I live in London. Confinement is has some very bad and sad sides, but I would like also to stress on to insist on the positive side as well, because this is the time where we reconnect with our families and we can have time to do things that we usually don't have the time for. So I'm trying to do all this, and it's obviously difficult, especially when you think about all the people suffering the effects of this disease and all the people on the front line. But at home, we're trying to use the time the most efficiently possible. Yeah.
I think we're here to try to find out a little bit more about you as a person. I am fascinated by a lot of things that you do, but I think through these questions that we'll ask every single interview that we're going to do, we'll get to know more about you. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. So, Freddie, do you believe in God?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. This is, 100%. This is part of my life. This is who I am, especially since I reverted, I would say, to Islam in my early 20s. It has been really my relationship with God has been the engine of my life, of my behavior, of my social relationship, of my it's a way of life more than a religion for me. It's a way of life and the way to connect with God and connect with other people.
So is he a mentor? Is he a friend? Is he a brother? Is he somebody to be scared of?
No, definitely not. I think that's why I insist on the relationship. I think most people don't understand that if you want to be close to someone and to trust someone, you have to know him. When you ask people what do they expect in a friend, they would say, most of them, they would say trustworthy. So in order to trust a friend, you have to know him. It's impossible to trust someone that you don't know. So the first thing is to know God through whatever I would say book or way he's been communicating with us. And once you know him, you can trust him and start this relationship almost as a friend, obviously.
Fascinating. What did you want to be as a kid?
To be honest, I never really thought of a job. I think most of the people you're going to talk to, they might say footballer, but for me, football was more like a passion, something I play, and my parents never told me that I could even become a footballer. So I was never really thinking about it. The only thing I was and I wanted to be as a kid was I wanted to be free, to be free. Whatever I do in the future, I just wanted to be free to decide what I feel good with. And I think even when I was playing football, I was always free to do other things as well off the field. So yeah, I wanted to be free.
You were a very mature kid then, if you were thinking that way.
Yeah, no, it's true, because I think it's also thanks to my parents, who never like pushed me and put in my head that, oh, everything you can make it as a footballer and this and putting pressure on me. They just wanted me to study well as much as I can, and to feel happy, really. And for me, football was just like a passion, something I was playing outside with my friends, and I was enjoying playing it in the club as well. But it's very at a late stage that I started, oh, maybe I can make it, you know what I mean?
Okay, sometimes we have recurrent dreams that you wake up in the middle of the night, or perhaps you enjoy. So what will be your recurrent dream?
I often dream of the loved ones I've lost. It comes back on a regular basis. So obviously I lost my dad a few years ago, so I dream of him quite a lot. Also a very close nephew of mine, even long ago, and also I dream of them a lot.
See if it happens to you what happens to me. I lost my dad and my granddad, and I talk to them. I have long chats with them, and I enjoy it. And I know it's a dream, and I'm thinking, I don't want to wake up because I'm enjoying talking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it happens to me. The kind of relationship I used to have, for example, with my dad, and sometimes in my dream I still have it. I have discussion with him. I just hug him and stuff like this. So yeah, it's just like it carries on.
The book?
It has to be the Quran. So this is the book, like all Muslim should have next to him, not only next to him or on a shelf, but use it and implement it, understand it, use it, implement it as much as possible. So yeah, the Quran.
And a video game.
Video game. I'm completely rubbish in video games. I even if my kids play with FIFA and stuff like this, a few times I wanted to play with them a little bit. I just can't even touch the ball, so it's terrible. And no, I've never liked video games.
You must be the only footballer who's not very good at video games. So you are excused. What is the naughtiest thing that you've ever done and can tell us?
Yeah, I can't tell you, but as a kid, you mean?
Ever?
Yeah, as a kid or adult?
Any.
Any. So I as a kid, too many, to be honest. People, when they look at me now, they say, "Oh, he's so quiet, so shy." But as a kid, I was just, to be honest with you, I was terrible. So I mean, terrible in a good way, not in such a bad way. But I was always outside doing some naughty stuff, and just too much energy as a kid. So I was doing a lot of naughty stuff, and as an adult, a lot as well, like everybody. But we're working on it.
All right. Okay. We'll let you pass on that one. What is the
Working on
first
it.
thing that you do?
Sorry, Guillem. Working on it, like trying to solve those problems, not like doing more.
Okay, so you are on the good trend then. You haven't told us one single one. I mean, I don't know. Did you throw a stone to a cow? Did you pick something you shouldn't have picked?
Oh, okay. You want to get into detail. So all what you've just said now, I've obviously I've done it, but I hope my kid's not gonna watch this video later, and because I always tell them to be, to be nice boys and so on. But yeah, all this kind in my neighborhood when I was kid, and why is when you've done play, when I was done playing football for hours and hours, we would do other stuff. So I was doing all this kind of stuff, going around in the neighborhood and having fun and stuff like this. And this is the kind of stuff we would do, yeah.
Okay. So what will be the first thing you do in the morning when you wake up?
Uh, I just thank God. I just thank God. This is the first thing, yeah.
Your favorite city?
I would say the one I'm in now, London. I love London. And when I used to play here and I left, I always had like the idea of coming back somehow. I wasn't sure, but I felt that it's a vibrant city and very multicultural and so on. I really love this kind of city where you can just blend in whoever you are, whatever you are, and it's just beautiful.
Okay, so who would you invite for dinner? It could be anybody you don't know or anybody you know, perhaps even somebody that is not around with us. Who would you invite for dinner?
Well, yeah, I could tell you a lot of people. I mean, that are not with us anymore, and a very like high personality of the history and so on. But I would say anybody after COVID-19. I think anybody I can meet in the street, I will tell, okay, just come at home tonight and have dinner. To just we need to recreate that social connection between one another. So I would probably even have one of our neighbors at home for dinner after this disease.
Okay, so you must have seen people performing in balconies, and I'm going to ask you, what would you do?
On balconies. Well, apart from kicking up the ball, I don't think anybody would be interested in seeing that. But
Well, if you do 1,000, maybe.
yeah, it's gonna be boring. But I would say there is one skill that I've always liked, and I would have liked to really manage well, is the spoken word poetry, this kind of stuff. I'm passionate about like even hip hop, slam, all the spoken poetry. I really like it. So when I can hear some people doing it very well, playing with the words, I've always been fascinated with words. So if I had the skill, I would like put on some show every day on the balcony maybe.
Have you tried it though? Have you
No,
tried some?
you know what? It crossed my mind a few times, but I'm always caught up doing other stuff and so on. But I listen to it a lot, and as I said, I listen to hip hop that I like, for example, just because of the words, because of the a consciousness sometimes that goes through the words and so on. I'm just like, and even when I was at school, I was always more kind of not scientific, but more literacy kind of a guy. That's what I've done as studies as well. So it's just something that I like. Yeah.
You've got a bit more time now.
Yeah, maybe I'm gonna think about it. Thank you, Guillem.
What is the most surprising call that you got this week?
uh, that I've got, to be honest, some of the calls I didn't recognize. It was an unknown number I didn't pick up, to be honest. So it would have been this one or those one. But I would say more the calls I have done to some friends. We had lost a little bit of contact because they are in another continent or something like this, and so I have called them again, and I've done that with a few friends. So this is, I would say, the positive side of this confinement, is that we reconnect with one another. So I would say, yeah, some long-time friends I've reconnected with.
What's the friend that got the biggest shock when he heard from you?
I think it wasn't a shock because I've never completely lost contact. It's just that I think we always connected with the heart because we've known each other for such a long time. So it wasn't a shock. It was just like pleasure and, oh, bro, it's been a long time. It's nice to talk to you. You know what I mean? But it's not like, oh, you're calling me. You know, it's not. It wasn't like this. It's just like, oh, I'm so happy you call me again. That's it.
What do you wish you had done that you haven't yet?
You know, I think I live quite a simple life. I don't dream about things that are really crazy and stuff like this. I should have done this and that. It's just that it's a very difficult question, to be honest, because I tend not to look at the past so much. I just use it as a how can I say, as a lesson for doing better in the future. But I don't just look back and saying, oh, I should have done, I shouldn't have done, because I think it opens the way and the door to be remorseful. I don't know if it's a word in English, but to have regrets and so on. So I try to avoid that. I just try to take lessons from the past. But yeah, maybe reading more books, studying more, being more interested even more in in other fields and so on. I can't think about one particular thing.
You sound like you're very content with your life, and you probably have killed my next question, because I was going to ask you, what do you wish you hadn't done?
I don't regret anything. As I told you exactly, I think I've answered this question. It's just like sometimes we say, oh, I shouldn't have done that. But in fact, this is something that is going to be useful for you to have done that mistake in order to not to make it again. I think the only mistake is doing the same one twice. So as long as you've done mistake, it's okay, but don't do the same again. So that's my philosophy.
Mm-hmm. Freddie, you found, all of a sudden, imagine you find a 15-year-old your version as a 15-year-old, and you sit down in a bank, in a park, and you say to him, what? What advice would you give him?
The first piece of advice that comes to me is just like, don't waste your time. It's precious. Sometimes we say, oh, okay, you're young, you have time to do this and that, but we never know when we're going to leave this earth. So I think just make the most of every second, seek excellence in everything you do, and you know, I heard a beautiful thing the other day. I was watching someone speaking on YouTube video, and he said like, if you die tomorrow, you're a senior citizen today. So there's no youth actually. So if you just make the most of what you have now, because you never know when it's gonna finish.
That's sometimes what differentiates those that wanted to be in the elite and those that get to the elite. The fact that when you find somebody like that, you don't see it as an obstacle, impossible to beat, but something that helps you to get better.
That's why I said I've always used, even when I speak with the youth and so on, I just tell them that, look, sometimes the people you think they are helping you or they are or praising you and so on, these are not the people who are going to help you in life, okay? life is strong sometimes. You have obstacles and so on. So you have to be ready for that. And people sometimes who may appear to be against you, these are the people who are going to help you because they make you stronger and so on. So that's why this guy, I swear, it was old school coach. You know, it was like insulting me almost every day. I think it's a little bit over the top, but in case I was taking everything on board, and sometimes I was ready to just like lose it, but it's just like made me stronger, and that's why, yeah, I think it's important. If you want to make it in anything, you have to grow thick skin somehow.
So, who would you like to finish a conversation with that you still feel it hasn't been finished? It could be somebody that is with us, or perhaps that is not with us now.
I would say my dad again. I think I would say my dad because we were not living together when he left us. So it was just like phone calls and so on. And you know how it is when you call each other. It's always like short. Most of the time, it's short and superficial. So it would be like having a proper conversation, face to face. And yeah, I think yeah.
It sounds like you're still talking to him, so perhaps continue doing so, and that conversation will be finished somehow. Yeah. Maybe.
Exactly.
What animal would you like to be?
Outside human.
Mm-hmm.
Really, honestly, I mean, I thank God I'm a human being because I think somehow when you do good, when you do positive things, it's a fantastic responsibility to be a human and be able to change things. And when we don't do good and we do the worst thing as well on earth, this is the worst thing to be. So it depends on which side you are. But yeah, sorry, I don't answer your questions. Most of them,
It's fine. We are animals, and sometimes we forget it. Perhaps that's one of our problems, that we are part of the animal
exactly
world. Cowboy or Indian?
Oh, Indian for sure. I was always Indian as a kid. Always Indian. I'm never on the side of the oppressor.
What do you prefer? 10 million euros or 30 days?
I hope I wouldn't need the 30 days because I would have been ready anyway. You should be ready to leave anytime because you don't know when your last day gonna be. So that's why we have to prepare every day. Do it like if it was the last day. I hope I wouldn't need these 30 days, and if I don't need them, I would take the million and give it to people who need it.
Okay, if everybody answers that, I'm going to be bankrupt at the end of this series. But yeah, you got 10 million euros on your way. Do you want to share with us the best 11 of all time for you?
I would put on goal Joseph Antoine Bell, who was a Cameroonese goalkeeper when I was a kid. I couldn't say if he was better or worse than others, but I just remember him, and he was like really good goalkeeper. He played in French clubs when I was a kid. At the back, I would play with the back four with. I would put Maldini and maybe someone like Laurent Blanc, centre back, Dani Alves on the right, Marcelo on the left, Makelele number 6, maybe with Xavi, or yeah, but only 11. I have to pick well. I would put Zidane. So then I would put Zidane and Makelele. Why not? I would put Messi somewhere. I have to. Ronaldinho on the opposite side. One on the right, one on the left. Ronaldo Fenomeno and George Weah. I put only the one. You realize that I've put only the one I've seen play with my own eyes or I've played against. Because otherwise, obviously, I would put Maradona, I would put Pelé, Cruyff probably. But I've just seen them on video, so it doesn't count really. So yeah, it would be probably. But I have so many other ones. It's always difficult.
That's a very strong 11. So to finish with, choose one of the questions that we made and ask it on camera. So we will ask the next guest into the series.
Okay, so my question for you is, which person would you like to be reconnected with or connected with if you had the opportunity to meet him or her?
Freddie, it's been a great pleasure. Always enjoy talking to you because you bring a completely different side to what a lot of people expect footballers to be. I think you've used your life very well. You seem content and happy, and it's good to see that you're very aware of your surroundings and that everything that's going on. And I know that you're doing your bit to help those that need help. So I just want to thank you for your time.
Thank you, Guillem. Always a pleasure. Anytime. Thank you very much.
Fancy coming in?